Justice, justice, justice. Who owns the future? Who owns the earth? Who owns our labor? Who says what it's worth?
No justice on the job. Everything is just set aside.
They give the money to who they want to give it to, not the people that actually do the work like us.
Today, the United States is in a hostage crisis. Only this time it's not just a few citizens who are being held hostage. The majority of us are being held hostage by the hospital and insurance industries.
The Lady Garment Workers Union's problems are the machinist problems. And the machinist problems are the coal miners' problems. And the coal miners' problems are all of our problems.
We gotta help each other. We gotta be together. It's the only way to survive.
They want the unfettered right to do what they want, when they want, to whom they want, unchecked. And they must be stopped.
And it's a message to those around us and other industries as well, that if we stick together, we win. If we fall together, we die.
There is a new generation of robber barons. These new robber barons are using the cloak of competition, the disguise of deregulation, and forced foreclosures to destroy our living standards and the security of our families.
Our economy is being destroyed by this new generation of corporate robber barons and the elected officials who do their bidding. Greed is more important than need to them. Working people become disposable like spare parts. Our standard of living is cut, our health benefits slashed, and job security eliminated. Alone against these forces, it is tough and usually impossible to win. Together, we are the majority. Together, we can start to win again.
Multinational corporations are not going to make us beggars in our own country. We're going to stand together, lock arms, and get a piece of the American dream.
And so we ask for our due: good jobs, a decent standard of living, employment security, the right to organize on the job if we wish.
Jobs with Justice means protecting our standard of living. In 1990, Jobs with Justice launched a national campaign for health care reform. Workers at some 50,000 worksites nationwide wore Health Care for All stickers and held lunchtime picket lines on Health Care Action Day to insist that employers provide health care benefits and work for national health care reform. Jobs with Justice means defending our right to organize. Public workers in New Mexico beat back an attempt by the state attorney general to outlaw collective bargaining for government employees.
Who in the hell is Hallstatt Stratton to come in and try to say no to that policy?
The present Attorney General says New Mexico's public workers have no rights. And he says this despite a ruling of the state Supreme Court.
Calling for Jobs with Justice, community leaders in Nacogdoches, Texas helped food service workers at Stephen F. Austin University eliminate discrimination and win their first union contract.
Well, it goes back kind of like from a saying my grandmother used to say, together we stand, divided we fall. And there's power in numbers.
Through Jobs with Justice, hospital workers in Buffalo won a strike after their employer had hired permanent replacements.
Everybody is going back to work, and that's a promise that we made when we started the strike.
We did it! Yeah! Unity!
Jobs with Justice provides a nationwide support network for workers' rights. We are a coalition of labor unions and religious, civil rights, women's, student, farm, and community organizations working to defend and expand the rights of working people.
We cannot sit down and let insensitive management turn back the clock on workers' rights.
The civil rights organization, labor organization finally came together and decided to pull that coalition together because we got the same enemies.
We must take a change, a fresh start. I am sick and tired of seeing an administration which is using the National Labor Relations Act to bust the unions of this country.
Jobs with Justice was formed in 1987. Since then, all across the country, local coalitions have been forming. Working people are beginning to turn the tide.
Alan, I guess the corporate sharks better be watching out.
New kind of shark repellent coming from the unions. Let me tell you all about it. They sang and paraded outside the Miami Beach Convention Center. Union members from all industries, the airlines, communications, construction trades. And inside, they attacked what they called the new generation of corporation robber barons who have bought and sold companies while cutting salaries and benefits and jobs.
Local Jobs with Justice coalitions make all of their own decisions, establish a structure, and implement their own plans.
Organized labor has started taking risks again. The CWA workers made headlines here this week by risking arrest, by saying it's time to be more militant in the struggle for workers' rights.
This is the time in this country's history when all union people have to stand up and fight together. Their fight is our fight. We've got to be heard!
Our formula is simple. To be effective in a battle for jobs with justice, unions must first mobilize our own members on the job. Individual commitment is the cornerstone of Jobs with Justice. To build that personal commitment, we use I'll Be There pledge cards. Each local coalition distributes the cards at meetings, rallies, demonstrations, picket lines, and other events. The pledge commits signers to be there for at least 5 community or workplace-based actions in support of workers' rights. The card signers provide an expanding base for a strong grassroots movement. Job security, a decent standard of living, health care, and the right to organize affect us all. We must move these issues away from isolated fights between individual employers and workers. These are community issues vital to everyone's standard of living. Since the struggle is not just between any one employer and group of workers, it affects everyone, we must build bridges between labor and the communities in which we work and live.
That if this rally is successful today, it means unity, because our struggles are quite common.
We use many different tactics to put pressure on employers. Here are just a few. Newspaper workers took their battle against pay cuts into the community with picket lines at the homes of the paper's owner and publisher. Just before the strike at Eastern Airlines in nearly a dozen cities, Jobs with Justice organized hundreds of cars to drive through Eastern hub airports at busy times.
All right, here at National Airport, there's pandemonium. Some 300 cars are circling here, delaying traffic substantially in a demonstration to show solidarity with the Machinists Union in its attempt to reach some sort of settlement with Eastern Airlines. It's being sponsored by nationwide Jobs with Justice movement, and I can tell you it appears to be having a substantial effect.
Union members sat down on a highway in front of a Scab Pittston coal truck in support of striking members of the United Mine Workers.
It's going to take the working man to get off his behind and get something done about it. And that's not just union men, that's all of them, union and non-union alike.
The House Education and Labor Committee held hearings into worker and family farmer abuse in Florida and Iowa. The hearings were another tactic used by Jobs with Justice. Local politicians also pledged support for Jobs with Justice. The Jobs with Justice Coalition also acts through coordinated campaigns conducted nationwide. Jobs with Justice has played a critical role in making national health care reform a top priority for government at the state and federal levels and in the fight to maintain employer-paid health care. Jobs with Justice targeted the insurance industry as a major obstacle to national health care reform in the summer and fall of 1991. During National Health Care Action Week on June 6th, thousands of protesters wrapped insurance company buildings in red tape, symbolizing their administrative waste and denial of access to care. Through the summer, people signed ballots to vote for health care reform.
You cannot use a Band-Aid approach. It has to be total reform of the system, and it has to address cost, quality, and access.
What we need is a single-payer system, one in which the government acts as our health insurer, and everyone has the freedom to choose their doctor and hospital.
The ballots were collected at events around the country and delivered by ambulances to lawmakers in Washington, D.C. on October 10th through the Emergency Drive for Healthcare.
So are we getting their attention? You better believe it. When the administration now starts attacking national health care, you know they're nervous. You know that they realize that there's 2 million ballots here. They're going to vote next November for a presidential candidate that's for national health care.
With the collapse of the Soviet Union, we have an opportunity to rebuild America. The Campaign for New Priorities seeks to shift defense savings into programs to reinvest in America without throwing defense workers on the streets. Jobs with Justice is pursuing aggressive campaigns to redirect federal spending to meet the needs of all working people. It's time to bring Jobs with Justice to your community. If you're tired of seeing secure, stable jobs disappear, living standards destroyed, wages and benefits cut, and the right to organize undermined, then start building a coalition for workers' rights in your community. Don't stand on the sidelines. Join in the battle for workers' rights. Join the fight for Jobs with Justice.
Jobs with Justice! Jobs with Justice!
Is really fighting to hang on to it for everybody in general. As goes labor, goes the rest of the American workforce, non-union or not.
We stick together, we win. We fall together, we die.
And to let the public, Atlanta, and the world know that we're not going anywhere. We plan on obtaining justice on the jobs.
And it shows that if we stand together, we can make a difference and we can start winning, and that's what Jobs with Justice is all about.
Put your employers on notice that we're not going to take it anymore.
They want our labor, we want health care rights. They make the profits, we'll make a fight. They take our money, we'll take a stand. Let me hear you raise your voice for justice, justice, justice. We want jobs with 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 justice.